Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, arguably one of the best and worst first party exclusives for the Nintendo Switch in the past several years, if not the best selling, but it is not without issues. Now, first of all, my experience with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet so far has been extremely good. But from this point, there will be a video playing in the background, potential spoilers for the initial part of the game if you have not played it just yet. The audio will be spoiler free, so please tab out or minimize the window and continue listening. And the video will commence in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so my experience so far, well, aside from my own personal bad luck, as I have yet to encounter a shiny, the terror rates have been going really good. Overall, the game itself has been very fun in terms of gameplay, so I have no complaints there. My complaint comes with the general quality of the game. Now, I'm not sure exactly what went into the issues overall. It could have been not enough development time, not enough development resources, or they just bit off more than they can chew. We've seen this with other games like Warlords of Draenor from World of Warcraft, where they gutted the entire central part of the arc, or Cyberpunk 2077, which launched with plenty of issues. And I know those are apples to oranges comparisons, but they do bear mentioning because they have very similar problems at those points in their game careers. And it was points where the teams were making transitions, having to go from somewhat smaller teams to somewhat larger teams. The ambitions were substantially growing, and there were a lot of things that needed to be fixed, as was with the case with Warlords of Draenor. Cyberpunk was, well, everyone remembers how that went, but for those of you who were for some reason unaware of what was going on with Cyberpunk, the console releases for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 at the time were, well, complete disasters. And there were plenty of bugs, many of them game breaking, making the game genuinely unenjoyable. And the only platform that seemed to have no problems was, well, the PC market. I played it at launch. I enjoyed the experience, and I didn't see too many game-breaking bugs, but I did see plenty of hilarious ones, like a car literally flying off the map and a person or doing the electric boogaloo and then taking off into orbit, and another just randomly falling through the floor in the middle of the street. And nothing game-breaking, but quite funny. But Pokemon, on the other hand, well, the fact that it is performing better on emulator and jailbroken switches that are running custom firmware is pretty telling about what is going on, I think. That they missed something, or they didn't do proper quality control, or they simply ran out of time and felt pressure to release it on their development cycle instead of saying, hey, we need to delay for a little bit to get this right. And of course, it fundamentally is a step forward in terms of how they want to conduct the game. I can understand that. I can appreciate that. But at the same time, you can't do this forever. Because we did see what this quality lack did in World of Warcraft, to where the population was started declining because Battle for Azeroth was objectively worse than Legion. Then Shadowlands. Let's not even discuss how bad Shadowlands was, and it was so bad it's even making Dragonflight, recently released, struggle a little bit at launch. That's not saying that it can't recover, but the jury is still out if it will or will not. Pokemon, on the other hand, it got so bad that Nintendo actually released for refunds for many purchases. I myself still believe in the franchise, but I also believed in World of Warcraft up until Shadowlands, and then my faith was so shooken I did not bother or playing for 2 patches, and I canceled my sub and went over to Final Fantasy, and I'm not looking back. I'm keeping an eye on that situation, and I'm also keeping an eye on what's going on with Pokemon. Because I get the feeling Pokemon is a little bit better positioned to fix their issues than or Blizzard Entertainment was. Because unlike Blizzard Entertainment, Game Freak and the Pokemon Company is not embroiled in a huge scandal when it comes to other outside issues. But I cannot ignore a bunch of the issues that I have seen, which have been performance issues where NPCs were stuttering, NPCs just walking into a battleground where you're fighting another trainer or a wild Pokemon, and there have been some instances of TOS alerts, or which is where a certain new Pokemon was very poorly positioned with their trainer, or another trainer just happened to walk on top of a wild one. I have included a screenshot of this. I will not say the Pokemon's name for interest of spoilers for those of you who are not watching the video. And that is the kind of thing that is hilarious to me, but I can see where some people might find that a little bit offensive or a little bit creepy. But some of the tweets that I have seen here, and thankfully IGN was kind enough to put a bunch of these together, and some of these I can confirm after having seen myself, like frame rate stuttering, load on distance issues, where it looked like a NPC was moving about 3 frames per second versus the standard 30 of the Switch or the expected 60. And here's some of the reviews aren't kidding about the terrible performance. Another is well, that's in French. I cannot read that. I'm sorry, I am not a French speaker at all. And another person saying, this is normal. And if that is normal, then we do have some other issues that need to be addressed. So, the person want to take a nice photo and got transported into oblivion. And another person's loving the game, but the glitching and clipping issues should have extended the launch date a little bit. I agree with that one completely. And this one, I don't even know what to do with this situation. Well, let's take a look at the tweet. So, oh, the fall of death. I have encountered this myself, but on my Koraidon into a tree. The first shiny found in the main game, it disappeared. I feel like this is going to be in a situation I encounter, so let's take a look. Yep, I feel like that's going to be my luck right there. And it's a Japanese tweet. I can only read a few characters of Japanese, so we'll skip over that one. And one more for the road. IO, WTF he doing? Well, let's take a look. Freaking out Koraidon. I have not seen that personally, but I can see where that's a bit of an issue. And of course, there are a lot more issues, one of which is the stores, that there are a lot of lacking storefronts and building interiors. That is a technical issue that really should have been resolved at launch. As in past Pokemon titles, there have always been for different storefronts and just buildings you can enter for flavor. Whether it's just someone's residence, a random business that happens to use Pokemon like for mail sorting, that kind of thing. Those things would have been nice for flavor if they would have given themselves appropriate time. It seems like they did not. So, what issues have you experienced in the game? What kind of things have you seen? What would you like to see improved? And of course, we're not even getting into the other aspects of the game, like PvP and Pokemon training and item duplication, some of which have been, well, they've happened in every Pokemon game since Antiquity of Red and Blue. So those are not really glitches in my opinion, but more or less holdover staples in the title. But when certain things like Fissure, a high-risk, high-reward move that can or get a one-hit KO, but it's got a low hit chance, when you can predict RNG to when you know you're going to get a hit, that might be a little bit of a problem in areas like PvP when it's very competitive and there's a lot on the line in terms of your gameplay. So with that, what issues have you experienced? What issues would you like to see resolved first? And what funny moments have you experienced because of random glitches that you did not expect to happen? I would love to see those in the comments below, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet below. Thanks, and have a great day, everybody.